Hello educators! In this video I wanted to give you a quick tutorial of a Schoology classroom. There are different tabs and sections of a classroom, so I just wanted to go over them so that you feel more confident. So this is my test student account that I like to use for demos. So I'm going to click on courses at the top and click on the Mava course itself. So we're going to go over each section at a time, and we're going to focus on the left hand side first. So the first thing that comes up is materials, and so it's exactly what you think. It's all the materials that the instructor posts, and the instructor here chose to group things in folders, and so you can just simply click within a folder and you can see everything that is inside of a folder. And you have a couple of options to go back. You can hit this back button, or if you ever get lost, most of the time it will say the name of the course. You can always click here. So those are two ways to hit the back button. One of the things that I like to do that people tend to forget about is that you can actually expand what's inside of a folder by clicking on these little triangles. And here I can see everything that's included, because sometimes clicking in different folders just is overwhelming for me. It makes me go cross-eyed. So that's my favorite way to navigate the contents of a folder. The next section is updates. You all have teacher accounts. So let's say you created a Schoology classroom for your real classes that you have with kids. You can decide if you, the teacher, can only post updates, or if anyone can post an update. I tend to turn updates off for my students because they tend to treat it like a Twitter feed or a Facebook feed. So I learned really quickly that you have to turn that setting off. This is so important. One of my favorite things to do was to post updates, of upcoming test or of an event that was happening in my classroom or an event that was happening in school. And the great thing about this feature, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Remind, and maybe you send out reminders through that app. With the use of Schoology, you don't have to have a separate platform. So if students have the app on their phone, they would just get a notification with whatever update you posted. Of course, they'd have to have the notifications turned on, which we went over in the last video. So the next section is grades, and this is where all of the terms and all of the assignments are broken up. And so this is really great because you get to see a visual of how you will be assessed. And so here you can see class assignments. There is an assignment here. Test student did not submit something. If test student submitted something, there would be a little paper icon next to it. So if there was a paper icon and a dash, that means the instructor just didn't correct it yet. But if there was a paper icon and there was a number next to it, then that means that something was corrected. And so what I used to always tell my students, because I'm sure we all get this question, is what's my grade? What's my grade? I would tell my students, log into Schoology, click on grades, and you'll see it, right? So this is great because they can take ownership of it. The next tab is attendance. I typically didn't use this because the district that I was a teacher in used a separate program, but you can always take attendance in Schoology if you would like to. And then there is a member section. And so remember, students can only message teachers. Students cannot message students. And so since you all signed up for a teacher account, this student is able to message you. And how a student would message a teacher is they would simply go to the gear icon and click send message. But in a real situation, there would not be all these gears here. The student would only see a gear next to the name of the teacher teaching the course. And so let's go back into the course. You can either click on educating and assessing, right? Or we can go back to materials. The last section that I want to cover is over on the right hand side, or upcoming. So if you remember from the first video, when you are in your home feed, you will see all of assignments and all upcoming events and things happening for every single course. And sometimes that can be overwhelming. So you can actually see what's upcoming just for this specific course over on the right hand side. Now if something doesn't have a date attached to it, then it's not going to show up. So just keep that in mind. So typically, there's two ways that you can check upcoming. You can see in this feed here, or I tell students go into grades and all of the assignments are posted there. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment and I will respond to you as quickly as I can. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.